I remember there were so many times where I was like, am I going to ever get a movie? Is this ever going to work out for me the way I, wanted to? I used to be obsessed with my Instagram when I was, in New York. A huge part of it. Some brands won't even sign you if you don't have social media.
What do you prefer?
Alaya. So actually, it was Aalia, and then I thought it's probably a better idea to change my name since there's such a prominent. I thought it's better, no confusion, no overlaps, no instant comparison, all those things.
Right.
I was like, keeps a lot of stuff away. So I changed it to Alaya with an I. But then people thought that my name was Aalia. I just didn't know how to spell it. So then I made it a Y to make it more obvious. Quite amazing, to be honest. You never really know how audiences are going to like you or have to read them. While I was on set, I was getting good feedback. So I was hoping I wasn't doing a terrible job. But that's also a little scary because when people are saying nice things to you, it's very easy to expect your performance to come out a certain way, and then what if people don't like you? So on Friday, I was very pleasantly surprised when, I was getting very good feedback and people were really appreciating it. And I was over the moon. More than anything, I felt a little rewarded. Put work into something and people like it. There's no better feeling. So I've had a wonderful few days and I'm feeling so motivated. I'm dying to get back onto a set now.
Which balance is?
I just trust it because I did whatever prep I could prior to the movie also. I really trained. I made sure my little bit was done intentionally. So I'm just going to forget everything behind. I'm just going to let Nitin sir do whatever he needs to do. And I just trusted him. I trusted Seth sir. I trusted the energy that was going around. I sort of just let myself be. I didn't. Seth sir, Nitin sir never made me feel like I had something to prove over there. So I get much of a say in what was going on as much as Seth sir did. He could give his opinion, I could as well. But I was always allowed to, if I ever went to Nitin sir and I said, I don't think my character would say, he's like, oh, of course, what do you want your character to say? Change. Or when Seth sir would come to me for approval, I was fine in that scene. Do you think this was okay? Guessing himself and always looking to be better and better. Trying to prove something towards myself, and that I can only do later. I'm so new to all of this, and I'm very aware of the fact that I'm new to all of this. And I guess every newcomer's journey is different. And some people are done with their first film and they have 10 lined up after it. And nothing signed that I can talk about. But I'm waiting to see where it all goes. I just want to do something very different in my next one. I don't want it to be on similar lines. And then maybe go back to the same area. I want to explore where I feel like I fit in and where people feel like I fit in into this industry. So I don't know, I'm excited to explore it and figure it out. I never really focused that much on getting people to pay attention to me. Even before my film, I wasn't getting papped every day all the time. I wasn't being seen everywhere. Also because for me, there was really no one really cared about seeing me anyway. So even if I wanted to go somewhere and get papped, there was no reason for anyone to pap me, People still went out and saw the film. The people that really I needed people to see the film. They liked it, thank God, touch wood. And I've never really, I focus more on what I can control. About how I would make my way, what I would do. I would just go and prepare. I remember there were so many times where I was like, am I going to ever get a movie? Is this ever going to work out for me the way I, wanted to and the way I pictured it to? And every time that uncertainty came about, I would just go for a dance class or go for an acting class, do a nice routine, do a nice scene, and at least know that somewhere I feel a little okay. Even now, my movie is out and I'm going straight back to my classes. In this whole little time, I have to say, use it, do something, so you're not constantly worried about what next, how to be seen, how to do what. I think at the end of the day, if you do good work, hopefully it'll speak for itself. And hopefully people like it and think it's a little different or at least entertaining to some extent. And I don't know, I'll figure it out. I feel so new, I have all these things where, I'll do things like this and I'll do things like that. Yeah, I definitely did. Because when I came back, I made it a point, like you said, too. So I did a year at NYU, the direction student. I came back to Bombay, dropped out of NYU and joined New York Film Academy. So I came back to New York, but I was staying with the same people doing everything, but I was in a fully different school, doing something completely different. And then I came back from New York Film Academy. I was like, okay, this should be fine because I've come in prepared. As compared to, a lot of people that I believe don't come in as prepared. And then when stuff wasn't happening and things weren't working out, I was like, but why not? I see people that, would have immediately just jumped into it and it worked for them. I remember that time period being very frustrating because even after the 2 years, even while I was auditioning and doing meetings, I was still doing my classes. And By doing classes, I don't even mean me going for one class a day or even 2 classes. Morning to night, I was just going back to back to back because it was the same. The second I worry about what's happening, I throw myself into a class because you're distracted, you're learning, you're being productive. So I remember coming back home at the end of each day exhausted and satisfied, but so scared and so upset that things weren't happening. So much from the whole process of it, and I feel like everything that I needed to get from this film, I got. Yeah, more or less. I find it a little awkward to step over boundaries or over lines. So if I feel like it's perfectly fine in like a respectful, non-intrusive way, I'll gladly do it. But I hate putting people in those positions. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But I wouldn't like incessantly mess and be like, so I really want to do your film, let's do this, but Instagram, I can only when I was in school. And then during the period that I came back and I was training, I was going from one class to another. And when you're doing that, there's no real time to take photos. I'm not going to go to my Kathak Guruji and say, Guruji, ek selfie. But there's a limit to how many selfies you post with Guruji. During that period, I didn't really have anything to post. So by default, I didn't post anything. I wasn't really going out, so I couldn't take photos of my food. All those stupid things that I used to. And during that period, after that period got done, I suddenly found it weird to have to go back and take photos and constantly put my life out there. So now it's actually quite an effort for me to be putting my life out because I've gotten so used to not picking up my phone during lunch and being like, hey guys, let's take a photo. It is. I feel like it's a big part also. It helps, your movie gets promoted better, your brands want to sign you more. So, and the numbers are so important. What you're going to get paid. It's a huge part of this industry and this job. But it is a part of it, so I will have to get used to it. I'm sure I will. I'm trying to enjoy it a little more now. It would go up, come down, go up, come down. Now since my trailer came out, it's jumped up. When, before everyone had made their debuts, before Sarah, Janvi, everyone made their debuts, I used to pride myself. This sounds so stupid, I don't think I've ever said this. I used to pride myself on the fact that out of, our social lot, I used to have the most followers. Like from our lot, I used to be like, I used to be obsessed with social media, I was always on it. Cut to, I finally reached 100,000, I was still like, one of the highest ones, whatever. Cut to, Dhadak got announced, and overnight Janvi made her account public, and she had like 500,000 followers. Then Sarah, and then that's when I realized, I was like, you put so much energy and effort into that. You look at numbers and my followers are going. It's so stupid. I think the trick is not to take it too seriously, to have it, to keep it going, but not take it too seriously. I guess I used to, because earlier I used to put my life out there, not really think that much. Now I think a lot more, because you realize how things can be taken and blown up. Right now, I really want people to just know me for my work, for my acting, and of course, then I want them to like that and then go on and see who I am and find out who I am now. So right now, especially at the start, when I have so much to prove and so much to do, prove to myself also, I don't want everything else to overshadow what I'm doing. I don't want who I'm dating or if I'm dating to be more important and more talked about than the film I just did. I'd much rather not have my personal life out that much, put that much of my life out right now. Maybe later on I'm sure, because I'm not a very secretive person. My life is pretty much an open book. But I believe that there's a time and place for everything, and right now the time and place is for me to prove myself in the profession that I've decided to enter. I don't know. I never really, she passed away when I was 1 year old. Out of stories. So this ring that I wear, she gave to my mother, and my mother gave to me the day I graduated from New York Film Academy. And I wear it every single day. And I truly believe this ring has magical powers. I swear since I put it on, I have been more focused and determined than I've ever been in my whole life. It's not like things have magically happened for me. Because she was a very renowned classical dancer, and she did it. Of course, not as late as her, but I didn't always want to be an actor. I decided very late, but when I did it, I just fell so madly in love with it. This is all I want to do, and this is what I will do every single day until hopefully one day I'm very, very good at it, and there's no dispute about that. And currently I'm trying to do that. I guess we'll find out what I've inherited from her.